Hello and welcome back to the Winning Agenda's coverage of online gintechie.net matches. My name is Jesse Marshall and I'm here with another game with my Argus Security How's That Fair aggro deck. So we're playing against Noise here, which is not the best. Say hello to our opponent, try and do exclamation marks instead of ones. Can try and force the fracking here turn one, so I think we'll probably keep this. Hopefully we're not seeing a sort of siphon noise type of build. But if we can get this fracking out, then I think we've got a chance of racing Noise. We've also got the 3 Jacksons in the deck now, so as long as we don't see too many of them being milled early, we've got some sort of chance. Ooh, Lamprey, not good. So what are we going to see here? Another run? Okay, so we're going into 1. It's a little bit annoying. So, what do we want to do? I think we'll... Since we have no ice to put down, which is very frustrating, we could... Purge is obviously an option. We can gain a credit, then advance the fracking twice. I think that's probably the best place to be at the moment, because it means that we're guaranteed to score it next turn. The other option was to install a dedicated response team, advance, and gain a credit, but I don't think that that is really going to get us there. So we have now gone pretty much all in on this fracking, so you've got to hope that there's no Corroder or Faust on the other side of the board. Street Pillar is going to help our opponent to dig, but please miss. It'd be only fair. Pleading with the vagaries of random number generators is always a fraught thing to be doing. So it looks like, hopefully, our opponent hasn't found a Faust, unless they're just slow rolling us here. And I think... okay, it's very unfortunate. Highly, highly, highly unfortunate. So our opponent having to go onto their turn tagged, but not really caring that much about it, to be honest. So that really puts a spanner in the works here for us. Especially since we now still have no ice to protect HQ. And I don't want to spend a turn sort of Jacksoning up. We have no bad pub, which means that installing the remotes is okay. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to install and gain 2. And if we get up a response team, we get up a response team, and that's also fine. Because our opponent's going to have to spend most of their turn clearing the tag anyway. Or at least 1 click with the cache off the peddler. Probably going to be wanting to draw before they run as well, you would think. Yep. Maybe run HQ here just to deny us a credit is a possibility. No, they're drawing up again. Okay. Probably didn't want to pass the turn tagged again. So very unfortunate for us that we haven't managed to draw any money. Perhaps worth installing the Jackson and gaining some credits, although then we just stand to lose the credits again. So probably install draw to try and find ice. And then we don't, but we do have a handful of gas, which is sort of really frustrating. So as long as we can get past the turn in a fashion that's going to allow us to score this hostile, then we're sort of looking okay. I'm loath to pitch a profiteering because it's going to get us straight back into the game. And I'm also loath to pitch a hedge fund because that's also going to get us straight back into the game. It's a tough one. I think profiteering at this point, because I think the other cards are going to give us a reasonable chance of killing our opponent at this point over the next couple of turns, depending on what they do. Yeah, I mean, obviously the worst thing for us here is if they hammer HQ. So they're going for the response team. And then hitting HQ, yeah. So that's really, really bad for us, especially losing that snare there. And going down to 1. So everything going just about as badly as it possibly could here. That beanstalk is very welcome. Okay, so we're now in the range where if our opponent passes with too few cards in hand, we can actually kill them, which is nice. We can also get some of this gas back into our deck. So I think at this point they know, yeah, they've seen Seasauce and Scorched. So I think we're going to see a draw here at some point. Although this is going to have to be 2 meat damage, I think, because unless they want to gain a credit, clear a tag. So this could work out well for us. But I think if they take the tag and then draw a card, that's funnily enough probably safer for them. They're going to lose the Aesops, but otherwise I think they're dead. So they have to take a tag and then, yeah, draw cards is the only way to survive this, I think. Yeah. So you want to draw 2. Yeah, I'm happy to leave the Aesops for another turn. And just... Do I want to even Scorch them here, is the question, or do I just want to kill the Aesops? Yeah, I don't think I want to use the Scorch because it's still a good threat with the Seasauce in hand. There's no point just blowing it. So we'll just trash the Aesops. Yeah, because I think blowing the Scorch there, like, does empty their hands, and it's 4 cards for 1, but the 3 credits are pretty important to us at this point. Okay. Well, they had the Aesops in hand. Anyway, they had to spend a turn doing that. That's okay. So I think we want... The problem is we're still vulnerable to the Lamprey because of the Faust. So we really can't afford to be threatening this fracking as yet. And our opponent didn't make a run that turn. I think we need some more money. So hostile will be nice. I think here, if we install and gain, our opponent can run Yeah, I think that if they run, they put themselves in a bit of a pickle. So we can get rid of this fracking. So we've now got 4 agendas in archive, so we're giving them 1. Do we have 4? Oh, we've got 3, so it's okay. We just can't shuffle back in the snare. Had in my mind that there are already 3 cards that I wanted to shuffle back in, but one of them was snare, so that's okay. Okay, so they've gone with the wild side to try and shore up their own plan here, which is okay for us because we now get to score out something. Now, what do we want to score more? The profiteering or the hostile? I think we can leave the profiteering for another turn and just score the hostile for now. Although it does mean the profiteering is probably going to get stolen, so maybe pitching a response team in order to keep that profiteering safe is sort of worth it. So same old thing going to hit? Not a lot at the moment. Okay, so this is still looking pretty iffy. I mean, our opponent is on 0 credits. But I think we've sufficiently scared them off with the seesaw scorch situation that they won't be running anytime particularly soon. Maybe we want to keep the response team and lose the quandary at this point. Yeah, what would we like to see? An archer would be okay, but not amazing. Corroded does mean now that our ice walls are just costing credits and not cards, which is a little bit annoying too. I think we can probably draw 2 Beanstalk and play the DRT. Loser future is now. Hopefully there aren't too many I've had worses sitting in that hand, because if there are not any, then it means that we can kill. If there's less than 2, then it means that we still have a chance of killing. But I have a feeling that our opponent's probably going to have kept some in hand. Unless we've lucked out and they're either on the street peddlers or still sitting in the deck. So if they're planning on not running until they've got a bit more action going on in terms of economy, then we've got the chance here to install some agendas. But they're going to have that read on us as well, so we need to be really careful with how we do it. I think we can draw up to try and find a snare, because it's always nice to go sort of snare and agenda. I think going the double atlas is okay because it means that we'll be keeping pace with our opponent, unless they steal both of them this turn, which is always possible, in which case they win the game. So have they seen a snare is the other question. Yes, they saw a snare. Okay, so they're going to have to be aware of the possibility of DRT and snare, seeing as they've now seen both of those cards. So we've now got 5 agendas in archives, which is a little annoying also. And is the problem with pitching yourself up to maximum Jackson capacity in and of yourself, because obviously Noise is going to eventually mill a couple of agendas as well. So I think we'll just go for it here. Obviously, if our opponent does run the this atlas and then run archives, they're going to win the game. But those are the risks that you have to take, I think, that they're not going to choose correctly. And I have a feeling that we're just going to see a full-on archives assault here, possible. Or we may see some... I don't really know what Imp's doing at this point. If our opponent's going to be running remotes, so hopefully the Imp signifies that they're not going for remotes, seeing as they already have 4 bad pub and they can trash pretty much anything they want to. Hopefully it signifies that they're going to go for HQ and try and deprive us of the Scorched kill that way, because they seem very concerned about that, which may mean that there's no I've had worse in this deck. Okay, Councilman. So that's going to stop us from using our DRTs, which is good. But I think that we're looking good on the Atlas here. Which is good. So we'll go up to 6. Our opponent is getting nice and close to us on credits now, though, so they'll be probably feeling a little bit bolder. And I think we only have one more hostile in our deck, so we're going to have to be pretty lucky to draw that at this point. 14 cards left in the deck. So, yeah, I mean, the question for us with still 2 more Jacksons in there as well. I think next turn we're probably going to draw up and install this Snare. So this is the position that we get into where our opponent is sort of incentivized very heavily to actually run. So shuffle in Atlas as a fracking, and what is the agenda we want most? They're all pretty much of a muchness at this point. Future is now probably the best. Now, do we want to res the response team here? I think so. So our opponent has to take some meat damage. Do they want us? Yeah, they're councilmaning it. That's okay. Because, I mean, it still costs them the same as it costs us at that point. So we're just trading credit for credit, but we're making sure that the councilman is gone. Oh, we're not really trading for credit for credit, I guess, because they had bad pubs. So that's unfortunate. So we did close the gap slightly, which is not... yeah, perhaps that was a mistake. So at least we managed to snipe one of the I've had worse there. Okay. So they've gone up to 6. They've got 1 click left. So that's something the upside and downside of sniping I've had worse is that you get rid of them, so you can kill them later, but our opponent is probably a bit more emboldened to run here with their last click than they otherwise would be. Okay, so taking a tag with the last one. I'm playing a clot. Okay. A little bit frustrating. So I think here we... I mean, they've passed with a tag, so we can just double scorch them. The question is, do they have 2 I've had worses sitting in their hand? No, they don't. Okay. Probably looks okay for us then. Cool. Well, that worked out well. Got to count the cards in their hand. I think we managed to sufficiently worry our opponent there. Sufficiently managed to worry our opponent into playing the clot because they were threatened by our hostile takeover potential, which left them open to that kill, because if they'd kept the clot in hand, even if they floated the tag, we wouldn't have been able to kill them, or would have been very long odds to kill them through the remaining I've had worse. So that worked out well. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one. That was very skin of our teeth stuff. If our opponent had managed to mill 1 more agenda into archives the turn earlier, then we would have perished. But thankfully, the Scorched threat did manage to get there because we had the 6 points on the board. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you've enjoyed the video series with this deck. And make sure you watch out in future for more winning agenda content. And good luck to all of you in your regional season. Thanks a lot. Bye.